All right, well, good afternoon. Just wanted to do a gardening video. Hadn't done one in a couple of weeks, more extended one. And I've been busy today out here doing some pruning, some trellising with my tomatoes and squash. And just real quick, the tomatoes, if you'll see what I've done with those, well, my basil's kind of in the way. This is a good example here. I've gone in and I have took out all the lower limbs, which creates a lot of airflow here on these tomatoes. Cut away all the sucker branches. There's one right there that I missed. I'll take it off. But anyway, I did that on all my tomatoes on my archway. And if you see, I've got 4 Better Boy tomatoes here. And they will eventually grow up. This is a 7-foot archway. And what will happen is this will grow up and grow over. These are all indeterminate tomatoes. Better Boys over here. I'll show you a picture of some I've got in a minute. And then over here is my cherry tomato varieties, and I've got some Cherokee purples down there on the end that I planted. And what I've done is I've taken these, I've trimmed all the lower branches off. Any fruit that it put on in the lower segment of these stems I have taken out, and I have thrown away. And what I'm left with, if you look at this particular plant here, I've got a healthy stem here that's got 4 cherry tomatoes, and then I've got a couple of blooms here. I've got blooms up here, got some here. I've got a vine down here. So I've already got somewhere around 10 cherry tomatoes already set fruit on these 2 vines. So I could very likely have cherry tomatoes here in just a couple of weeks. But these vines are doing really good. Taking these limbs out, the lower limbs, lower branches off, trimming off all the sucker branches. What that's going to do is a couple of different things. It's going to allow these tomatoes to fruit better. It's going to allow them to be healthier, resist fungus, blight. It's also going to reduce pests. Of course, my best pest control are these little guys right here. This is a basil plant. That basil plant will get to about probably 4 foot tall, and it will bush out, and it will take care of the tomato hornworm that you get a lot of times on your tomatoes. And they can absolutely annihilate a tomato plant just in a day, really. They have a voracious appetite. So I did that with my tomatoes. If we come over here and I show you my cucumbers, set my camera down, you can see my cucumber plants are starting to climb the trellis. Now, the thing with the cucumbers and trellising, with archways in particular, is you have to train them. And what I mean by that is they put vines on, you've got to turn these vines into the trellis, because they'll just grow out wherever they want to grow out. And you turn them and let them grow into these trellises instead of growing out into your bed. That does a couple of things. Again, it reduces the pest problem. I'm gonna have to clip those up. It will reduce your pest problem. It gives more airflow to the vines, and it will produce more fruit. It also makes it where you can see the cucumbers better. The thing that happens with cucumbers, if you don't harvest cucumbers every day, if you don't harvest these cucumbers every day, once they start putting on fruit, then what will happen is you'll start missing fruit, and these cucumbers will stop growing and they'll start dying, because that vine will say, well, I've done my job. I've completed the task, I've set the fruit, and it will start to die, turn yellow, and dry up and be gone within the first month of the growing season. Last year, I kept them picked real good, kept them trellised on the archway real good, and I was harvesting cucumbers all the way into August last year, and September even. Same thing with squash. If you look at these squash, now these are some I had caged. Now this particular one here, I'm going to put not a cage, but actually like a stand-up trellis. And I'm going to tie this main stem off. I've already trimmed, as you can see, there's no bottom limbs coming off this vine. I've trimmed them all off this one and off this one over here. That's going to, again, keep the disease. It's going to keep the squash borers off and help them be disease resistant. Now, I'm not going to walk over there, but you can see I've got a zucchini over here on this side, I think it's a crook neck variety of yellow squash over here in these cages or baskets, and they're growing up through that basket. Now what I will eventually have to do is put a stick that will grow up. I've already got one, and I will eventually tie that main stem off, and those things may grow up 7-8 foot tall. Well, I did this last year just to experiment with a couple of squash, keeping them pruned and keeping them climbing. And I was harvesting squash till first frost last year off my original vines. Here you have the peppers. I've already harvested some banana peppers, as you can see. I'll show you these real quick. You can see I've got small banana peppers here. Got habanero across here. I've got cayenne and jalapeno on the front, and my prizes are my ghost peppers in the very back. They'll be the last to come in. And those go in my pickles. I make a variety of hot pickles, dill pickles, with just a little bit of ghost pepper, not a lot so you can't eat it, but just a little bit. And they really spice the pickles up and make them good. Just kind of give you a tour now. This is my carrots. I grew these carrots out of my greenhouse, and I've got a flower growing up in the middle of these, and I'm gonna pull. As you can see, these carrots are growing, and I'll have some ready to harvest here before long. But they are really turning out good. You can eat these right out of the ground. I'm gonna knock some dirt off and get a little taste. That's good stuff. Baxter even likes them. He'll scoop it up and eat it in a minute. Romaine lettuce. Grew these out of my greenhouse. When the radishes in this finished up, transplanted those. They were about that tall. These are ready to harvest now. I could harvest these now and may even cut one tonight for a fresh salad. Here is something new for me. Adjust my camera a little bit. Show you what I got going on. This is my herb bed. I've never really grown herbs except for dill, of course, for my pickles, but Miss Teresa, my sweetie pie, gave me this planter. She had it sitting around her house and wasn't going to use it, so of course, you know my philosophy, waste not, want not. I took it, built it up, made it deeper, put some good potting soil, compost in it, transplanted some herbs. And in this, I've got some parsley, Italian parsley, got some dill. This is a little different variety of dill, rosemary, some thyme, strawberry mint, cilantro, sage, which is going to go good in some dressing this fall, and some oregano. Of course, I've got basil in my garden. Here, I've got a variety of tomatoes. Lower my camera down a little bit. I'm going to train Baxter to be my cameraman. But here I've got I forget the name of this, but it is what's called a micro or a dwarf tomato. That's about as big as that vine's going to get. And it's starting to set some blooms. These will be the little tiny orange looking, not the typical orange you get a tomato with, but the really orange, like carrot looking orange tomatoes that you buy in the grocery store, pay a lot of money for. And in this one, you've got the, actually this is the orange heat. That is the yellow variety over there. This is the orange heat tomato. That's about as big as that plant's going to get. But you can see how it's loaded up with blooms, and it's looking real good. And of course, these, I replanted these a couple of, that was last week. put zinnias and some sunflower varieties in that. They've already sprouted and doing good. And of course here I have a Cherokee purple and Better Boy tomato. Grew these from seed, and they're doing really well right now in these pots. And of course, small pot with some zinnias. I love my flowers. And then my potatoes are flourishing, doing good. I've got to add some dirt to these. I need to do that this afternoon if I have time, if I don't run out of daylight. I've got some other stuff I have to get done today out here that I've been putting off. Here is my pollinator bed. You can see my butterfly bush is starting to bloom. My catmint bush is just huge. And if you get down in here, you might be able to catch a glimpse of some bees. I don't know, there's a few in there. But anyway, I've got several varieties of flowers here. I bought those from 1818 Farms. My snap peas are really starting to put on now. See if I can find, I've got a few beans that have started to sprout back here. As you can see, I've got some snap peas that are starting. Onions are probably the best crop of onions I've had. Spinach, it's about done, it's bolting. Over here I have my broccoli. I'm gonna take all this out this afternoon, get this bed ready, and probably gonna come back with some early peas here. I'm gonna get rid of all these radishes. I wanna show you these radishes, the size of that radish. Now, I wouldn't eat that. That thing would probably be hotter than a firecracker. But boy, those things I have had no fire ants this season in my beds after I initially got the original ones out before I planted. My cabbage, now if you'll notice one thing, this bed was not covered to broccoli. Basically what it ended up being was bait for the little white moths that lay the eggs for the cabbage worms. Now I'm going to show you what a cabbage worm looks like. You hear people talk about it. If you look very closely, if I can get them up here without knocking them off, right here at the end of my thumb is a cabbage worm. And they will devour, absolutely devour a broccoli leaf. So I'm going to pull these up. I'll chop them up, compost them, and same thing with my radish leaves. I'll throw some of it over to the chickens. They love that stuff. But anyway, I got that to do the next couple of days. May not get to that today. This is just a zinnia bed. I've just kind of let it go. It's doing its thing. I've got actually a few weeds in here I need to pull out. But the zinnias are slowly starting to come up in it. Let's see, what else have we got? Dwarf roses, they're doing great. Strawberries. How could I forget the strawberries? I've already covered them back up, but I've got some strawberries. I'm actually gonna freeze some tonight. I picked probably a couple of quarts off this bed and off this bed. You see the romaine lettuce. I've got romaine lettuce sprinkled in there that come up from last fall. Actually, it's put back out, it's coming back up. I'll take that out probably this week, transplant it in some places. But anyway, probably a quart and a half, 2 quarts of strawberries out of that. My compost, if I had somebody to hold the camera, I'd get in there and dig and just show you how alive that compost is. It is absolutely going. I got in there today and dug out, chopped up all the remains from where I'd pruned and dumped that over in there and covered it back up, and hundreds of earthworms. And what I'll do periodically is take a scoop of that, dump it over in these garden beds, and not only are you getting some good nutrition for your garden, but you're also getting those earthworms into that soil, and they are nature's cultivators. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but you can see all the squash that I have. I'm about to be overrun with squash, which is a good thing. But anyway, that's kind of a garden tour. As I said, the pruning, the trellising was the big thing I did today. I would encourage you, if you have tomatoes, to keep them pruned. Don't be afraid to cut those bottom branches off. They're not going to produce fruit, and it's going to give you healthier vines. It's going to give you better tomatoes, bigger tomatoes, and your fruit will be in the top of the bush, and it will continue to produce for a longer period of time. I've had good rain. I was going to show you one other thing. You know, I mulched with wood chips this year. I've never done that in my garden, and I've got to add some to a couple of these beds. Some of them have already broken down, but I want to show you underneath this. If you go down and dig underneath, now I've not watered this garden in 2 weeks. And if you look at the soil and you see how it clods together, that soil has still got a ton of moisture in it. And it's because of the wood chips. They have not only fed my soil, but they have preserved the water around these tomato plants. The soil is just damp and stays damp. Same thing over here, doing it more with the lettuce, the leaf lettuce and things that I have for ground cover over here. But I would encourage you as a gardener to look at ways, learn, study. You can watch on YouTube things I've shown you, how to organically garden and get away from all the commercial pesticides and fertilizers. There's a lot of ways you can naturally grow your garden and have a healthy garden without putting a bunch of stuff on your fruit and on your vegetables and ingesting that stuff. So I would encourage you to do that. Look for ways to use more natural things to make your garden better. But anyway, with that, I'm going to let you go now. I didn't show you I've got some watermelon and I've got cucumber planted, not cucumber, but a couple of cantaloupe peels planted. They're not up good yet. I'll show you that on the next video. But sugar baby watermelons, and I forget what the name of the cantaloupe is. Along the same line, it's a smaller variety that you can trellis, and I'm going to do that with those this year. But anyway, I may have a video later this week when I get these beds cleaned out and I go to plant peas and whatever else I go back with in my lettuce bed and brassica beds. When I fill those back in with some summer stuff, I may do a video if I do anything different than I've already done now and already posted. But anyway, just wanted to kind of share these things with you. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on my Facebook page. It's simply Keith Crouch, Instagram, or you can comment here on YouTube. Better probably to do Facebook Messenger, or if you have my phone number's on my Facebook page. As I always say, if you're creepy, just don't do anything creepy on my page. But anyway, feel free to reach out, and if you have questions, I'll be glad to answer them. If you live local, I'll be even glad to come and look at something you've got a question about it. One of the great things about being retired is you have time to do stuff like that, and I'd love to come and look at something you've got. If you've got a question about it or help you get something fixed that you need fixed in your garden, I'll be glad to do that for you. So if you need to, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you out, answer any questions, and we'll be here for you. But anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to share with your friends. Be sure to hit the little notify bell on the YouTube page, and it'll let you know when I post anything else new. But with that, let's get to gardening.